Women in Law Southern Africa says physical abuse is the most dominant form of abuse. The report was released as part of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which is currently taking place in the country. We have a report.
As Swaziland is still in the 16 days awareness against gender-based violence, Women in Law visited 6 different communities where they held dialogues with the different people of different age groups as well as traditional leaders. As they were visiting these communities, they found that physical abuse is the most common form of abuse in communities. Other forms of abuse included maintenance and widows who are deprived of their rightful goods by their in-laws, amongst others. Xolani Hlatywayo, the director of Women in Law, tells us more.
We discovered that there's a lot of violence that is going on in the communities, violence which is more especially domestic violence, which can either be physical, verbal, because most of the men, they complained of emotional abuse. They talked about there is this tendency within families where men are emotionally abused, so they felt there is a lot of emotional abuse. And we also discovered the issue of maintenance, where children are not maintained by both parents, and the issue of property grabbing, where the widows, the property that is left by their husband is taken away by families or relatives. So there is that kind of violence that we discovered in the communities, but we are also applauding the number of contributions, not only from the community, the people from those communities, but also from traditional leaders.
Mrs. Dlamini says they usually preach the gospel of peace within communities and families, whereby so doing violence is avoided. The good news that came from the survey is that the victims of abuse now speak out and get help and counseling, as opposed to the past where they could bottle up their feelings. I am Kiani Msib with Fabrice Musonera for Swazi TV News, Manzini.